We know Ikon well, Tails.
We know Ikon incredibly well.
Tommy Mitchell's in the house.
There he is. Needs no introduction, but we'll give him one anyway.
Here we go.
Tommy Mitchell on the pod.
He's got the Balenci.
Straight from training, boys. I had to cut it short. Priorities, obviously.
Welcome back to the Monday Magnets episode 2. We've got a massive episode because it's the first time we're encountering Tommy Mitchell in the flesh. He'll be joining us very shortly, but I'm joined by my co-host every week, Bailey McCabe. Round of applause.
Thank you. Thank you. No photos.
And
No
also
photos.
Willie T. McGee.
Taylor, he's here.
Taylor time.
Live and direct, baby.
Oh, yeah.
We're here.
Tails, you were a little bit late today, mate.
I was very late.
We left at we lived in the same house.
We left at the same time. I probably left about a minute or two after Bailey to go collect myself some beverages to spark me up. And I bloody tell you, mate, Melbourne traffic. It's a nightmare, isn't it, Bailey?
Yeah, it is, but I got here on time.
Yeah, well, I chose to go the way past the Harlow bar, but there's been some traffic changes, so...
So you've gotten beverages and swung past Harlow Bar. It sounds like an ominous Friday night.
It is a Friday.
It's a great little Friday afternoon, and I was kicking on from last night.
And we've got a big weekend coming up.
Massive weekend.
Big weekend. We've got a good friend of ours, Shrey's birthday. So is that what you were getting your drinks for? You're just so in anticipation
Well,
for
you
his
can see my drinks. It's a Gatorade Zero and a Monster Energy Zero.
Yeah.
Hydrated and caffeinated.
How good?
Yeah. Great recommendation from Cooper Hamilton, friend of the pod. He loves getting on the white Monster cans.
Yeah.
But has it with Wheat Bix.
That's, yeah. Okay.
Well, is he taking the P155? Because I think that's performative and for content, but apparently, does he actually eat that?
Well, get the milk out of it. No sugar. A little bit of caffeine. Get the Wheat Bix in there.
Maybe we try it.
Maybe we...
You never knock it before you try it, Dos.
Yeah.
I've had Wheat Bix recently. Just doesn't sit well. Wheat Bix goes straight through me.
Good fibre.
I don't know if it's the fibre
But
or...
the fiber's supposed to harden it up.
Yeah,
You know
I
what
know.
mean?
It's doing the opposite.
Okay. Well, was it coming out all right? Like in terms of, was it...
Just a sense of urgency
That's
from the Wheat Bix.
It's efficient.
Yeah.
You're getting
true.
in and out.
Get in, get out.
Back to the desk.
Back to Tails and his driving movements and away from my bow movements. We were talking about how a couple of times when you and the Marmalade boys have met me at Ikon Park, I've called you about, where are you? And you guys have said, we're on the West Gate. And Bailey was like, surely not the West Gate. And I said, no, I'm pretty sure when the Marm boys drive to Ikon Park, they go the West Gate way. Can you confirm or deny you take the West Gate to go to Carlton?
We take the Balti Bridge. We don't take the West Gate. We once took the West Gate and it took us an hour to get to Ikon Park.
Because that is the wrong direction.
That is completely... We're going back down to see the family if it's the West Gate route, but...
We know Ikon well,
Balti makes more
Tails.
sense.
We know Ikon incredibly well.
Tommy Mitchell's in the house.
There he is. Needs no introduction, but we'll give him one anyway.
Here we go.
Tommy Mitchell on the pod.
He's got the Balenci.
Straight from training, boys. I had to cut it short. Priorities, obviously.
Yeah, that's right.
Jeez, you look fresh.
Feel good, mate.
You look
Feeling
You
good.
got shaved legs?
Mate, that's the go these days.
lot
Pretty
of-
much,
a lot-
I reckon majority of players are shaved legs or wax, some wax.
I was going to say that. A lot of
Tails,
football...
not your go, obviously.
No, clearly not. I might have to rock up next week with some shaved legs.
I was going to say, looking a little bit more aerodynamic.
Yeah.
Is that the purpose?
Oh, well, a lot of guys get taping on their legs. So it does make your pins look better, though, let's be honest.
Yeah.
But a lot of guys get taping and hate ripping their hair off.
Yeah.
That's the main reason.
I made a bad mistake last year. I hurt my shoulder during our VAFA footy season, and I went to a physio, and he goes, I'll strap you up on Wednesday for Thursday training. So he put strapping on, and I didn't shave my shoulders, and I've got very hairy shoulders, incredibly down the back. It's
Thanks for that detail, mate.
it's a problem and a half.
He's not lying.
But he whacked the tape on the shoulders, and I left it on for 2 days, and taking it off, it was torture.
It
was
bad.
absolute torture
Worst spot
Bad.
for it.
Worst spot.
for tape.
Whoa. Shoulder's decent.
Yeah.
Shoulder's decent.
It felt like a Hessian, like I was sleeping in it. It felt like a Hessian sack. Like
What's
it was just
Hessian?
itchy
What
and
is that?
sticky. And
It's like a rucksack sort of material.
Okay. Little Santa sack.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's
Is
a
this
bit
what you guys
rougher.
normally talk about? What have I missed the last episode or two? What are we talking
Well,
about?
when Will goes to Ikon Park, he takes the Westgate Bridge. They go to the Westgate.
Takes the Westgate.
Those allegations are false. It's these boys are speculating I took the Westgate, but I'm a big Balti man.
But
We've
why
only
is it even
taken
the
it once.
Balti? It shouldn't even be the Balti.
No, the Balti makes sense.
But it's still for us. It's it's out of the way.
Yeah, it's the
Balti
long way
goes-
around.
The Balti, and then you go through the zoo.
Oh yeah. Well,
That's how it's done. Can we stop talking about like Google Maps and stuff? We've got Tom Mitchell on the pod for
Tommy.
crying out loud. All right, Tommy, your pre-season, how's that been going, mate?
So we're going to start easy, and then
Yeah.
you're going to throw a few doodras late. I know you
Yeah.
set me up with a doodry. Start with a nice easy one.
Yeah.
First, that's just your conventional off spinner.
Yeah,
to
just
start.
the conventional one. See how
And I'll
you-
straight bat it back to
Yeah.
you. Pre-season's gone well. I've started running again, so I'm starting to get back to full fitness, which has been a bit of a journey. Actually, Bailey and I, we're working on something at the moment, which I think you guys will like. We're actually tracking a whole season, what it's like to be a footy player in the AFL, so that we're going to document a whole year. I've kind of liked always watching. Have you seen the Aaron Rodgers one, the recent one, NFL quarterback on Netflix? Watch it if you haven't.
Same bits and pieces.
Like, not that, we're on their level, but Tom Brady, I've always enjoyed watching superstar athletes and how they track themselves through their career and a season. It's been something I've always wanted to do. And it's just coincided that, we've started at a pretty low point, and the day I actually got injured, Bailey happened to be coming to my house. So there's some pretty raw stuff on there, but hopefully it gives people some insight to what the challenges are like, because it's bloody tough. Footy's hard. The good parts are awesome. Winning flags is great, but the challenges are tough. So that's something we're going to put out on a YouTube channel episode. When's first out, Bailey?
before round one. That's the goal. That's when it's coming out. So sometime between sort of the last practice matches and round one.
And we'll probably do like 5 or 6 episodes for the year. Got Collingwood helping out on board, so we'll get some stuff in-house. It's going to be pretty cool.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Now, speaking of challenges, I know you've had your injuries and challenges leading up in pre-season. I myself has been in a similar position. I had to battle last night at training. I had a grade 1 chafe from a hole in the tradies on the thigh. So I'm absolutely feeling it.
How do you deal with that? Do you go to the long skins? Do you go short skins? Is it long jocks?
I can't.
Because I've got grade 1 as well.
Yeah.
Get some ointment on it.
Yeah, I wear longer jocks, but I don't wear skins for some reason. I just don't know what it is, but it's the mental battle I had with myself. It's like you got to get through to this next code.
Yeah.
Otherwise, like it's done.
How did the chafing start? Because you and Checkers were both battling on Wednesday night with the chafe.
Oh well. To be honest, it's probably the 18 holes of golf we played with Isaac Smith and
Could have been it. Could have been
and
it.
Andrew Campbell. Yeah, seeing we didn't have a cart and we walked for about 14 kilometres.
Yeah.
That's a good start.
How was Smithy on the sticks?
Mate, Smithy was unreal. He was
Teammate of,
Former teammate.
of-
friend of the pod.
friend of the pod, Isaac Smith. He was lovely. He wanted to know all about us, and I'm like, no, Smithy.
So 14K, you must have hit a few sideways, because I reckon a walk around the track's about 11K. So you've been hitting them sideways.
Tidge, I was making sure all parts of the course were hit. I was making sure the rough was all right, making sure the fairway was clear, just hitting a few in and out of the sand. So you gotta make sure that the surroundings are being used in the golf course.
Yeah, 100%.
What are you off?
Nothing. I'm a casual golfer.
36.
Yeah,
Take the max.
36.
36.
But we were playing off 18, so
Speaking of Smithy, did you guys see Fox Footy today? I love when they throw on a throwback game.
Oh,
Today
yeah.
they had 2017 Hawks v Geelong. It was an Easter Monday throwback. But they've been throwing on some random games.
How'd you go
lately.
that day? How'd you go that?
Had a
Were you
couple,
there?
yeah, had a couple that day. But I was there. I was playing, yeah.
Wait, what year was it?
2017, yeah. But don't you love when they throw on a throwback of... my era is like early 2000s. They had Carlton Bulldogs, Optus Oval, 2001. That's like my heaven.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Like,
good
that's me
era.
in heaven right there.
What were we talking about last week? We were talking about North Melbourne versus Adelaide. Petrenko goal winner.
Oh, Jared Petrenko,
2013,
Marvel Stadium.
2014.
They were down by about 40 points halfway through the third, and then Jared Petrenko gets them over the line.
Did you remember that? Or was that a bit
I
old
remember
for
that
your
one.
blood?
That's a bit old for me.
Yeah.
I remember the
Don't
Wanamiri game, D's v Freo, when he went off
Yeah.
and kicked 3 in the last and they won.
We were down by 52 points at halftime.
And that was in the drought where you weren't winning games.
Yeah, we were horrible. And I said to Dad, let's get on the V line. Let's get to Jollymont. Like, I'd called it. And he said, we don't leave games early. And then Awesome Wanamiri, Jara, Brad Green, Russell Robinson just went nuts, got us over the line.
I actually went to a wedding recently. Cale Morton was there, and he was talking to me about the dirty days at the D's. He's actually a ripper guy, Cale.
Yeah, he's hilarious.
He's so funny.
He's actually funny.
Like, he emceed the wedding that I was at. And,
right.
How many games do you reckon he won out of 75 total?
15?
4.
16, I think it was.
Yeah.
Jeez.
But, yeah.
He was... There wasn't much defensive running by Morts, but there was games where he racked up like 35.
Hey, he'll happily tell you too. I think he had 37 one game. I think it was 35 uncontested or something.
Yeah.
Good. Loved an uncontested mark. Good dream team picker.
And then he would be
fantasy
remembered
picker.
for his little face-off with Brendan Lade.
Brendan Lade. That got to mention, yeah. That got to mention.
Have you seen that?
Wow.
No, I don't think so.
It's
I'm
great
not,
footage.
I'm not really into D's sort of folklore.
History.
But like I've got
Who
my
you
fair
go for,
share.
Tails?
I'm a doggies man.
Doggies.
Yeah. So I love my Nathan Jakiras, my Wade Skippers.
Your Daniel Gian Syracuse's.
Brett Good.
Your Nathan Eagletons.
Yeah, Jason Ackermanis.
What about Brett Montgomery? That's an iconic game final against Pies getting cleaned up by Brody Holland off the square.
This is the best.
I have seen that, but it's escaped my memory. I have been watching like some of the older ones, especially when Terry Wallace was coaching. The one where he said, "If you pat anyone on the back, I'll spew up."
At the post-game function.
Yeah. Yeah. It's been a rough ride for the doggies. But
Yeah.
Tommy, we trained on Wednesday night.
Yep.
I
So
got-
the Div 12 Resi's have run it back.
Yeah, we're
Yeah.
back.
Any-
We started training in October.
Have we recruited? Have we lost? What's the go?
Yeah.
we've recruited a lot. Roaming has young.
Got Roaming Has.
whippersnapper.
He's an up-and-coming AFL YouTuber.
Yeah.
There's a couple of others that we've picked up. I got criticised last week for not being at training. I've had some commitments that I won't speak about on the pod. But I went on Wednesday night and Chafee McGee wandered on halfway through training, which was good. Good to see his face. But Bailey McCabe, nowhere to be seen. We want to drive the standards here at Ball Magnets. And our fearless leader, who's in impeccable shape at the moment, Bailey McCabe.
Career best.
He
some would say.
wasn't at
Career
training
best.
on Wednesday night. How do we approach this in a leading team style sort of
Well,
intervention?
leading teams, if you want to go down that path, we're probably going to have to sit him down and barrel him for an hour or two. So, which I'm happy to do.
We've got plenty of gear on.
I don't know. Let's give him first word. You know, there may be a fair reason. Probably at the gym, knowing you at the moment. You're loving your gym work.
Have
but
you got
we're-
any feedback for me?
I've already given it to you. So obviously you want to hear it in a public setting so the world can hear it, but you're looking great, mate. So I'll say it again. Where were you?
I actually can't remember.
I can tell you where you were.
Tell me where I was.
You had your shirt off and you were on the couch
AC was blasting, that's right.
on Wednesday.
I was in an edit session, and I just think it's a little bit unfair, a little bit hypocritical, because I went the first session of the year, and that's the hardest, historically the hardest. And maybe there's a little bit of me that just wants to go show face and get out with a couple of, just people seeing me there. They know I've been present, and now I've bought myself a week or two off. I don't know. Does that relate?
So what frustrates me is we missed finals by percentage last year, and I feel like we've got to make up that percentage in our training, in our preparation. DTS, drive the standards, as the Dacos boys say. And you've got to get there, Baz. You're a leader. You're a leader amongst the group.
Hey,
and
Tails was fighting through serious chafe and just
he waddled across the park.
soldiering on.
I nearly
Came in.
I nearly bled for the animals.
Nearly.
Nearly.
Get the ointment on
the,
that.
the shin splints happened week 1, and now we've got chafe. It's a tough game out there.
I will be better. I will be there next week, and I will train the house down, I promise.
Well, I won't be there next week.
Oh,
What can I ask? Individual goals for the season. Obviously, you were up forward last year. You kicked a ton of goals.
Yep.
Tails, you hit the scoreboard a bit too. What are we targeting? Obviously, a team game, but there's individuals within a team. How many snags for the year for the both of you? Bailey's off backline, but for you two,
I at least want to very comfortably hit the double digits.
you want to
this
kick
year.
10 snags.
Yeah. But aiming for like more than 20s.
So-
Will the headband be worn again? this
Oh,
year?
100%.
Iconic that.
Yeah.
for you to kick 10 goals, Tails, you need to get 10 touches. So, did you? I don't know. What was the tally overall?
So I've been working on my running patterns and just like sort of running around
Yeah.
in space.
You doing any altitude sessions and?
Nah, you don't need any of
Right,
that.
just patterns.
Burwood's on enough of a hill. Like you've got enough altitude. It's just more learning the running patterns and then getting to the feet of the big guys or a key forwards like Kaden McDonald.
Yeah.
I'm a Brad Johnson type, sort of medium, can play a little bit taller, a little bit smaller. I'd love to get the half century. 50 would be good. Kick 50 snags would be handy. But I'm all about the team. We missed out by percentage.
Yeah.
We lost games early in the season because teams stacked their side, beat us by 150 points. I don't want that to happen again this year.
While we're on the topic of feedback, so the game I did come down to at Burwood,
Oh, no.
it seems as though when anyone gets inside 50, eyes light up. There's not a lot of easy goals being kicked.
The
No,
connection
Is that fair? Is that a fair comment?
Probably fair.
Titch, I'll name and shame one of our teammates, and that's Cam Muratore. I'm looking down the barrel when I speak to you, Cam. You've got to open your eyes when it's inside 50, brother. I'm sick of just standing on the line for a long point. I'm sick of the shit.
Yeah, he's not accurate, is he?
No. 2025, we're passing the ball around.
Yeah.
Well, we've
That-
got the
yeah.
number one
Wow.
non-handball giver in the team.
Yeah.
How many handballs do you reckon you gave all year?
Well, I reckon Tom would get more in the first 5 minutes of a game
Yeah.
than I did for the
I'd
season.
probably say that too.
Boys, if you
Um,
need some tips on handball, and that's my go.
That's your
my,
MO.
my handball to kick ratio would be off the charts. So maybe I'll come down, bit of a ball magnets clinic. We've
Yeah.
actually steered away from the app this year. All our content's on socials
Yeah.
and YouTube, so it'll be more accessible. But maybe we need to just do a pure handball craft session.
How many different variations of tram tracks could you give us?
tram tracks specific? Oh, probably 6, but I could give you 100 touch drills.
Great.
I reckon Tommy's got like a deuce or a hand pass.
Really?
Or he's got
A slower ball out the back of the
The,
hand.
Yeah.
the slower ball.
He's got the top spinner,
Yeah.
he's got the back spinner.
Cripper loves the top spinner.
Yeah.
Cripper loves the top
There is a
spinner.
time and place for the top spinner.
Is that distance handballs?
Well, it can be, yeah, or it can be if you got to get your arms high, you can actually flatten the ball out by going top spin, and it can actually get to your teammate quicker.
Interesting.
Wow.
It's a good little pod.
The more you know.
Yeah.
Did you see during the week, and we don't want to talk on other people's podcasts that often, but it was a massive talking point. Sam McClure brought out his list of A-graders, and there was one or two glaring omissions, and one was Isaac Heaney wasn't in the A-graders that he named.
Concerning.
What are your thoughts on that? And then maybe we name a couple that we think could become A-graders in the next 12 months.
Was Tom Mitchell on the list?
Had his time in the sun.
Oh,
And I'm happy to be a role player. I've had my time. I'm happy to just play my role.
This
as
is
they
just
say.
role player for home and away season, then finals come out 25, 26, 25.
I'm
just,
going to be biased. I'm going to be biased on the Monday
Should
Night
Isaac
Madness pod.
Heaney have been on there?
Yes.
Oh, I think so,
Oh,
yes.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
He was the best
God,
player,
yes.
best player in the league the first half of the year.
Yeah.
It
And
was-
surely the Coleman medalist, I saw the list briefly. The Coleman medalist, Jesse Hogan, has to be on there.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a strange one. That had a bit of conversation about it. But there's a few other ones, I think. There's a few other ones. I was concerned. There was a few lists that come out. Jack Sinclair. There was 2 or 3 graphics that came out during the week, and Jack Sinclair not on any of them. And I think he's a superstar. I think he's an absolute gun, and arguably the best halfbacker in the league, in my opinion. And he's not on the list. He's probably mine.
So I was chatting to Tim Membry today, obviously at the Pies, and he's got something on with Cal Wilkie this weekend. And we we're talking about him as a player, and he was talking about how much of a star he is. And I know that he's a good player, but do you feel like you get more harshly judged at a smaller club? Like if you think like a Wilkie and a Sinclair at a Collingwood, how much more does that give you? You know what I mean?
Absolutely. It's like, I think it's Josh Battle at the Hawks at the moment, sort of situation. I reckon since he got into trade conversations, his value, or in terms of just general value, he's getting spoken about a lot more. It's probably risen. So if Sinclair was to go to the Pies or the Blues, I reckon he
You've been
quite
talking
potentially
about
could.
Battle for years, and when some of the figures that were getting floated around last year about Josh Battle, I probably hadn't seen him. I'd seen him play against Melbourne, obviously, but I haven't watched Josh Battle closely, so I couldn't believe the figures that were getting thrown around for the free agency. But you've been saying for ages he's an
Forever,
absolute
mate.
gun and a half.
Josh Battle, 2 seasons running, was in the top 10 players for marks, total marks, which is nothing to shirk at. Like, seriously, if you're top 10 marks, you got to be doing something right. But yeah, Jack Sinclair's mine. Tails, you got an A grader that could be making the jump, or that should already be an A grader.
I mean, I want to see Ollie Dempsey sort of
Yeah, great.
grow a bit more. And like he grew heaps last year. We saw he was awarded something at the AFL.
Rising
Star,
Star.
wasn't it?
Rising
The
Star.
Rising
Yeah.
Star at the
Who
AFL.
who couldn't win it? Someone couldn't.
Harley
win it.
Reid.
Harley Reid.
Ollie Dempsey got up, and his acceptance speech was, I want to thank the MRO because I
Yeah.
think Wardlaw and Harley Reid were cancelled out.
Jeremy Cameron told him at his table, you need to thank the MRO if you win
Yeah.
this tonight.
That's good gear.
Yeah, I think Ollie Dempsey will definitely own the wing, and kick plenty of goals as well.
Can take hangers, can kick snags. I love that type
I'm
of
trying
play.
to just run through the teams. It's probably that time of the year to start getting into footy mode, isn't it?
Very
like
much so.
the games are getting close. It'll naturally happen when games start, but to start thinking about footy again.
Well, I want to ask you on a player, Tommy, because I'm biased and we'll be hearing a lot of D's anecdotes throughout the year. But a friend of yours and someone you grew up with, do you think Jack Viney is A grade? Because in my mind, he's been B++ for a long time. And then in the last 2 years, he made the All-Australian squad and then he won our B and F. And it feels like if he's B+++, if not A. But I think across the league, people wouldn't see him as making that leap to that upper echelon. Where would you see like a Jack Viney?
I think definitely that type of play internally is valued, in that regard, because what he brings in terms of his leadership, his hardness, he's been at the D's his whole career. He's a good leader. He's disciplined, does everything right. He's been such a good player. I think he's on 2 BNFs now. All-Australian squad you mentioned a few years ago.
Yeah, it felt like a coin flip between him and Libba a couple of seasons ago. And Libba made the bench.
I don't think Libba's made all Oz either, and he's a star, I think.
I reckon he made the bench. Did he make the bench?
Maybe he did. Maybe he's made one.
He snuck in, yeah.
But I don't know. How do you justify the line between...
Yeah.
Because you're saying +++ to A. What is the line? Is it a top 30? Like what's A, what's B? I don't know how you decide it, but I guess everyone's opinion is going to be different.
Maybe it's a success thing in terms of being at the D's for so long, not having a period of, I don't want to say sustained success, although the D's have this list of the last sort of 5 years since they won the flag that is pretty damn good. But maybe it's the 8 or so years before that that's kind of, because he is a gun and he can get 30 on any given night.
Yeah, 2 years ago at the Brownlow, it was like I was really looking forward to see how track went that season, and I reckon Viney had like 26 votes that season.
I reckon he come like 6th or 7th.
Yeah. So, yeah, he's not far away. I can understand why Jack Viney wouldn't get put in that like elite of the elite, but he wouldn't be far away. And I was just interested to see like Tommy's perspective on that.
Yeah, I think in the media and footy world, I think the guys with real power and explosiveness, Cripps, Dangerfield, Bontempelli, they really catch eyes and, probably reap the reward of the perception of being A-graders, and they are. And I think then there's guys who do it in a different way, like a Jack or a Libba, who are equally probably as valuable, but they just do it in a not so flashy way. Like they're in and under, tackling, doing a lot of hard things. So depends what you look at, but they're all gun players.
Yeah, absolute stars. Is there someone in the next 12 months you reckon could pop up and become an A-grader?
It's really tough. I'm trying to think on the spot here. Like, I just think about someone like we mentioned Libba just then. There's so many, like, the league is so strong. Like, there's so many good players. Like, you think Adam Treloar's had a great career. He's just All-Australian for the first time last year. Yeah. You mentioned Jack. I don't think he has All-Australian yet.
No.
Libba, I'm not sure. He may not. Like, there's so many gun players who haven't actually been rewarded that. So it goes to show how special of a accolade it actually is when you look at someone like a Ablett or Pendles who do it 6 or 7 times plus. It's pretty incredible, really.
Thoughts on we haven't seen him for a year, Bailey Smith. I mean, he's an absolute gun, what he was doing before the injury, and
a man donning the headband, following suit.
Following you.
He looks like the Karate Kid.
All I'm saying, Guinea set the trend for me, and then I've set the trend for Bailey Smith. So you're welcome, Basil.
Well, your thoughts on Baz Smith? Do you reckon he can become an A-grader?
Yeah, he can.
He was trending that way.
Yeah, he can. I think, like, apart from all, like, the Insta pics at home and everything of, like, his rig and, like, on the
keep
track.
them coming.
Yeah, keep them coming. Like, that'll pump up everyone around G-Town. But I think he's due to become an A-grader.
I agree.
A year off, he wants to prove himself, new club, bang.
More reports playing inside mid as well, or training there at least, so that gives you every opportunity to be around the ball. On the headband thing, so when Guinea was at Collingwood, he used to throw on a headband pre-game with a bit of colour in it, like what you do. You run the fluoro, you sort of fluctuate between a fluoro pink to orange.
It's like, it's pink, and then it's got like hints of green, blue, orange on the headband.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or you can reverse it, and then it's just full pink.
Yeah. So Guinea used to go for a bit of colour, and when he would go to run out the race, he'd get pulled aside by someone from administration because you can't actually wear colour in your hair. So they used to give him like a black or a white one. And now I've noticed that at Hawthorn he wears a yellow or brown. So they may have changed it to
Team colours.
Team colours, because he used to wear a flamboyant colour.
Wonder if the VAFL are going to start kicking down our front door and tell me to change the colour.
They haven't got onto me for the white socks.
No, you should be crucified for that.
Big
That's not
controversy.
okay.
That's just such a rare move.
Well, I don't know why I can't get support from my friends on this.
Because it's just rare. You don't have to be different, mate.
I don't need to be, but
Gotta
I feel
conform
more
to the
comfortable in
side.
white
Get to
socks.
training. Stop
I don't
wear
like
them.
my socks up to my knees.
Have you got
So
any...
you can get smaller socks, smaller Wattle Park socks.
Alright,
It's what I wear to bed every night.
All right, guys, we've got an AFL player here. Let's stop arguing about socks for fuck's sake.
Sorry.
Tails, mate, I'm loving your ability to just keep this thing on track, mate.
Oh, mate. It's
There's
like,
some positive feedback for you.
it's just
Some
like,
infighting early.
It's like a parent with kids and you're just trying to keep them in control. Are there any teammates that are doing any goofy stuff in pre-season, or they do anything during training that's just a bit weird?
Define goofy.
Like white socks.
Yeah,
for-
okay. Well, we've got a thing at the club, sort of like an inside joke, I guess, but we pick up on everyone's mannerisms.
Yeah.
So, what's an example? I don't know if this is a mannerism, but I sit on the floor in meetings, and everyone sort of just picks that up.
Okay.
There's some ones I probably can't say.
Yeah, don't dox the boys.
Darcy Cameron does this thing that when he talks to you, he'll be talking to you, he'll be like, "Tails, how you going, mate?" But he's sort of like in the background, he's always like kicking or punching something, or just slapping
That's
him.
good.
Tim Membry, we've caught on him when he's having a conversation. It'll be the air golf swing.
Yeah.
Do you have any friends that do that? Like,
I shadow
Tails.
bat.
so it's like, "Tails,
Yeah.
how are you, mate? What's going on?" Yeah, you shadow bat.
Yeah,
so
I shadow bat when
a lot
I-
of guys
when I talk.
golf swing.
Yeah.
So as you're just chatting, if you run into someone in the street, you'll just be shadow batting, hitting them through mid wicket while you're talking.
Yeah, and I'll be practicing I've found out that I like practice my office heaps. It's like I'm talking, I just like throw up a loopy one. I'm like, what am I doing? Like,
It
I'm
actually happens more often than you think.
Yeah.
Like even guys like air dribbling basketballs, like guys do some weird stuff. It's funny when you look close.
I picked up on one recently where I just start sort of like clapping. Like I'll just be chatting and I start sort of clapping to myself.
There's some ADD tendencies.
Yeah.
But you and I both.
100%. We keep going off track.
Oh. Anyway. Yeah. We're all right.
This is a very off-track pod, but I don't mind it.
Do you want to talk about Goober?
Yeah, my boy Goober Crosley. He hit me up during the week. He appreciated the love that we've been showing him in the comments. For those who haven't listened to the first episode, we got around Big Braden Crosley, the ruckman from Southport Sharks. He had an intra-club with the Doggies, did well, and now he's training with them to be an SSP pick. So if he gets
Massive.
if he
Got
gets
the big
picked up,
handlebars, doesn't he? The
big
moustache.
handlebars,
Yeah.
bald head, and I'm like so excited because if the Doggies pick him up, I'm gonna go and get his number put on my dial straight away.
Yeah, pumped.
Yeah.
Pumped for that. Let's get in the background. That's the first thing we need in like sort of a background set. Goober Crossley, Guernsey. What number is? Do you know what he wears in the
It's
VFL?
a high number in the VFL. I think.
That's what we want.
Very high number.
Yeah.
Him and Boyd Woodcock used to be the best ruck mid duo in the VFL. It was nuts.
Good.
We're doing our training camp up at Southport this year in the Gold Coast in about a week or two's time. We're actually staying at the facility at Southport.
Staying at the
So I
facility.
think-
Staying at the footy club.
Yeah, well, there must be accommodation there or something. I'm not sure
should.
exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. Residency.
yeah.
All right, sleep in the away room.
Yeah,
Stubby.
Surely go and sleep in the shower.
Yeah.
Sleep in the gym.
Yeah.
Get some extra reps in.
Yeah.
Goober, is he now friend of the show? Can we call him friend of the show?
Friend of the pod.
Friend of the pod.
He DM'd me and he said, "The love doesn't go unnoticed, mate." And it was also a reply to the post of Cody Waitman exposing that he walks his cat.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, you wanted to? Yeah, you wanted
On
to.
the
Have you seen
lead?
this?
On
On
not
the
on
lead.
Yeah.
Really?
Walks his cat.
Goober's partner has got a harness and then got a lead for the cat. So like the lead isn't on the collar; it's on the harness, so it doesn't like choke the cat. So I don't know like walking cats. I'm not a
Tyrone Vickery had a brief stint at Hawthorn when I was there. He come across at the same time as Jay Gramere and I. He used to walk his cats. He had 3 cats, I think, in his backpack. He'd walk them in the backpack.
Name a more
To get them out
Tyrone
in-
Vickers
out
thing
in-
to do.
Yeah,
that is the
that
most
is.
Out
Tyrone
in
Vickers.
nature. So
That's unreal.
Do cats need to be walked? I feel like they sort of do their own thing.
I feel like they hit the town and just sort of in the night time they go do their own thing and like
Go do some tram tracks.
leave your food and water out for them and that's it.
I was at a friend's place for dinner the other night. He puts, speaking of, bandanas, fluoro bandanas on his cat's neck so that it doesn't get hit by cars. So when it goes out for a trot in the night.
Yeah.
So if you find a cat, maybe lend your headband for the night and just wrap it up.
Jeez, I got to find the headband first. It's somewhere in the locker.
Are you a cat or dog person?
Dog, massive dog person. Labradors.
I can't really stand
retrievers.
dogs.
We've got the biggest dog person.
I'm a big dog guy.
Yeah.
Braden Maynard, he's a competitor for biggest dog
Really?
lover. Yeah, he does stuff with seeing eye dogs. He's got 2 labs. Obsessed.
What made you get into that?
Dogs.
Did you with the RSPCA?
How'd you get into dogs?
How do you get into dogs?
Yeah, well, you can ask
Oh,
him the same question.
RSPCA is my charity. I don't know. I've always just loved animals and dogs, and I go out to the shelter every couple of months and just help out. I don't know. I think, animal cruelty is I don't know, something that just hit home for me. So it was just something I wanted to get involved in. I love my dog. I had a second one who I lost a few years ago, but I've still got one retriever and love her. She's great. She actually walks off the lead. She doesn't need a lead. So we'll walk through the busiest roads of Malvern, and I actually never bring her on the lead. She just walks next to me. If we stop at a road, she sits. I actually don't even know how to communicate. It's just sort of,
I wish.
Yeah.
I've got back at my mum's house. We've got the fattest golden Labrador ever, and her name's Rhonda, and
Rhonda.
she's the craziest thing ever. You can't have her off leash.
Really, just goes off tap.
Oh, just nuts.
Yeah.
So crazy.
Yeah.
And then trying to put her back on the leash. It's like a pre-season camp in itself.
I will say you have a great dog.
Yeah, she's a ripper.
Great dog.
Rhonda's an interesting name choice.
Yeah, Mum doesn't like doing the generic one. She likes having a human name. So
Yeah. Braden's the same. His dogs are called Simon and Douglas, but as human as it gets.
that's awesome. Yeah, but Mum's always big on the female Labradors. I was begging to get a male and call it Bruce or Pickles, but that quickly got turned down. So that was unfortunate.
You're a dog man as well, aren't you, Bez?
I'm a dog man. Unfortunately, my dog also passed away within the start of the last year. So we live together. I've been crying out for
Wow.
us to get a pet.
Wow.
Not really viable in our little humble
No.
abode, but I feel like we could get like a,
Not in the
I don't know,
townhouse.
could we get a grey? Because they don't need much. You know what I mean? The greyhound.
But whose would it be? So this happened with
Yeah.
Jack Ginnivan and Nathan Murphy. They got a communal dog for the house. It was a retriever. And then they moved out and they said, okay, well, we can't live with each other forever. Who gets the dog? It was a big debacle for a while. And I think Murph's theory on it was that eventually Guinea will, fall. We'll have to ask him. We'll get Guinea on the pod soon. But Guinea will, love the honeymoon phase of it and then sort of fall out of love onto the next thing. But he didn't. So I think Murph ended up keeping it. But I think they were doing joint custody for a while.
Jeez, well, I don't know. Maybe a rock, paper, scissors.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well, you can keep the grey.
We'll play. No,
You can get
no
the grey.
worries. Maybe we should play a game of FIFA or something. But if you fall in love with the grey,
Yeah.
Like, I know you hate topic diversions, but I've been smashing podcasts. Just that's why I was a bit late as well.
Yeah.
Getting the last bit of my podcast out in the car. NBA trade's been going nuts.
it's been going.
It
nuts.
has.
Cricket's just started. I didn't even know the cricket started, but wouldn't mind just touching on that. But I just can't even comprehend what's just happened. Are you guys NBA lovers?
Big
I'm
time
not.
over here. We've been following it big time.
It's insane what's going on.
The Lakers get their big
Yep.
big man.
Just the
Jimmy Butler.
Doncic Davis trade's just unbelievable.
Now I know this has been like around social media a lot, but if you were to explain in AFL terms the NBA trade as an AFL trade, what would that look like?
Okay, so it would be effectively a gun big for whoever would be around second, third best player in the comp. So
And that player's younger, isn't he?
yes,
Yeah, you're looking
In
for
this-
a young.
So
gun.
hypothetical,
So
let's
young-
just say it's a Nick Dacos for, I don't know, who's a good example?
It would have to be Nick Dacos.
Nick
Yeah,
Dacos for
Nick Dacos
Is he
for-
as good as like Nick Dacos in
have
comparison?
yeah,
to
he's
be,
been
'cause-
all NBA first team 5 times in a row and he's 25. He's on track to be one of the all-time greats already.
So Nick Dacos for James Sicily. Is that
James, no, Sicily's a bit young still.
Who's one of the best like rucks in the comp? Because Davis plays centre. Who was all Australian ruck? Gorney, although he is a bit
Roland
older.
Marshall.
We had Cherry. Cherry was
Yeah.
AA.
Who's like a 30-year-old
Could it be
ruckman?
like a Jeremy Cameron who's older than Nick Dacos? Could it be a Jeremy
Yeah.
Cameron for Nick Dacos potentially?
I like that.
Yeah.
Or a Tom Stewart, maybe. 6 AAs or something, 5 AAs.
Yeah,
Probably
but
one of the
not
better-
big enough.
he's not
Like
key.
tall.
I don't want to see Nick Dacos in a Geelong jumper ever.
It
Get
wouldn't
that
surprise
image-
me, to be honest.
Get
They
that
get
image
everyone else.
out of my face right now.
I don't think you have to worry about that, Tails.
Yeah.
What about you're the cricket man here. Great air cricketer, great cricketer all round. We're playing 3 spinners again this test. Is that
They picked Cooper Conley, Matt Kuhneman, and Nathan Lyon, but then we've got Travis Head as well, keeping the finger on
and
ice.
Starkey's playing again?
Starkey's playing again. He's
Yeah.
been good.
Yeah.
It's been very good. Sri Lanka haven't been very good.
Yeah.
What happened to Todd Murphy?
He got rested.
Oh, plays one test in 3
No,
years.
he's
He's been
playing for the
rested.
Sixers.
He's been rested, mate.
Yeah.
Is that a nice way of saying?
Been managed.
Yeah, manage. Yeah.
They're
One
sort of
test.
like they're sort of giving Cooper Conley a bit of a go. I think it's like it's a series where they're like, oh well, we can win, and then we could just sort of like give people the experience and everything. So I think Cooper Conley coming in, playing a test, Josh Inglis having because it's hard to drop Josh Inglis after making a ton.
Yeah.
It's like, all right, mate, you've made a ton, but fuck off. Like, you're out of the team for this week. But, like, Todd Murphy, I think, did his role, played, like, no one really had a step wrong except Marnus, like, only making 20-odd. But, like, at the end of the day, we're just going over to take the piss and sort of bring back the trophy.
What about the Sri Lankan guy who literally walks in and bowls off one step?
Oh, it's nuts.
That's one of the most insane bowling actions I've seen.
It's I don't. There's so much like to international cricket, and then there's like you look across the waters to the West Indies, who have got Rakeem Cornwell, who's 6'5", 140 kilos, and bowls ripping offies, and I'm like, just this is international cricket at its finest. But yeah, I wish we had something like that in Australia.
Yeah.
Speaking of that omitted, kind of rested, I've heard some real rogue ones in the AFL. I've heard of some like twisted testicles and some things that have got people out, kept people out. Is there any rogue ones that you remember over your time that clubs run with? And you're just like, I don't know if that's the right one to
I
run
think
with.
when clubs say manage, sometimes guys are pretty sore. Like it's hard to get through a full year unless you're like who doesn't miss? Like Jack Crisp hasn't missed for bloody 10 years. But he's a rare case. But most guys need a little break at some point. It's a pretty physical game. So I think most guys, when they get managed, are genuinely managed. I think Geelong have done it pretty well over the years. They always seem to do it really well. I don't know about the ruptured testicle thing. Was that what you said?
Yeah, there was the twisted testes.
Twisted,
Twisted
yeah.
testicle.
The weirdest one I've
Testicle.
ever missed with was I got a scratch. I was playing at the Swans, the training session before the game. I got scratched on my eye. And I could kind of see. I was like, oh, I'll be fine to play. But they say if you have a scratch on your eye and you run and play a full game, the blood pressure in your eye, you can actually lose your eye because something happens with the pressure. So I had to miss a week with a scratch in the eye. That was
Won't
probably my
forget
weirdest
that.
one.
Won't forget that. He'll get a scratch.
You'll
on
wear
his
goggles.
eye.
You wouldn't get Coxie's goggles now to play in them.
Yeah, Coxie.
I reckon that'd suit me.
The goggles.
Yeah, that and the headband.
He's got about 10 pairs in his locker, so I can get you a pair.
Do you reckon they'd be tight enough around my head?
You got a big head?
He's got a big head.
Yeah.
No, let's get you in swimming goggles. Let's make it real rare out
Yeah,
there.
Speedo swimming goggles.
Or like the LeBron had or the Kyrie had a face mask one game. I don't know.
The
We can do something.
see-through plastic.
Do something rare.
Do you want to talk about a couple of trades that are bubbling away at the moment?
Which sport?
AFL.
Oh, so like your Matty Rao rumours or your whatever else.
Yeah, Matty Rao's a good one, but Tom De Koning.
TDK 1.7 mil. The Saints are throwing the war chest at the man, and I love
They're
it.
throwing the war chest at everyone.
Is
it
that
feels like.
confirmed though, or is that just a rumour?
Well, it's rumoured, but it's a pretty confident rumour. Put out by the good guys. Mitch Cleary put it out. 1.7 million apparently, allegedly on the table.
Now, I love St Kilda, Baz.
Thanks, Will.
And I love him dearly. Got
Thanks.
a few friends of the pod out there. I've heard this war chest so much. Like,
Especially
I'm
at the Saints.
getting a little bit sick of
You're
it.
sick of the war chest.
When are
Sick
they
of
gonna,
the Saints war chest.
when are they going to fucking throw it at something?
Well, they've tried to throw it, mate. It's not their fault they can't land it.
LDU, McGlug,
I think they went for Dylan Shield years ago.
DeGoey.
They did go for Geordie.
1.7 mil is around 10% of a team salary cap per season.
Far out.
So they'd be using 10% of a 44-man odd list, 50-player list, on one player. So
I think Tom De Koning's maybe not as good, but I think he's in the Luke Jackson category of like so nimble, so athletic. He will be one of the best ruckmen in the comp soon.
Don't shut up about Melbourne players,
No,
do you?
he doesn't.
He's a Freo player.
Nick Newman's, I actually caught up with him the other day. He's a good mate of mine from Swans days. He's ruptured his patella tendon on his other side, which is a big injury.
Do you reckon we can get a Ball Magnets Nick Newman pod?
We can do that. He's hoping to get back though. So early recovery signs looking good. Aiming for potentially, hopefully we can see him later in the year if he can get a 6-month recovery done. But it's a big injury, but I hope he can do it.
Nick Newman's a gun.
He was second in their BNF last year.
I think he's heavily underrated. Got a couple of flowers last year, but I think how old is he now?
He'd be 30, probably 31, I reckon.
Is he becoming
32?
better as he gets older, or what have you?
Yeah, I think some guys play their best footy, in that exact range now. That's when you're mentally fully developed, your body's in a great spot. So yeah, hopefully he can get back. He's just had a kid, so he's got some good things going on outside of footy. But yeah, it's a tough thing when before a season's even started, you get ruled out for the year effectively.
Patella tendon, is it? Is that what he said?
Yeah,
Patella?
so this part of your knee there
just fully ruptured.
and then they say that your knee cap actually floats into your quad. That's what happens with a lot
It
of
doesn't go there. It's not meant to go there.
Have you guys done your way too early premiership predictions?
We've done no predictions yet.
It is way too early, isn't it?
It's never too early, but
Well, it's never too early for Doss to say the D's. So,
these will be good.
Oh, yeah, on that, I'm sensing a lot of Saints energy from Baz as well.
Yeah.
At every opportunity, a bit of Saints energy.
He's brought up Goober at the Dogs.
I bring up one player. It's like we're on the Demon's diary over here, mate. It's like you're bringing up all the past players.
Doss
and
has been
everything.
sent in from the inner sanctum of the D's to just get some more PR out there.
Yeah.
Doss goes down to the D's trainings. He goes down and watches. It's just David King
just to
action.
chat to my mates. They're my friends.
They are your friends.
Just arms folded over.
Do you remember
the other
that year
side.
at the Brownlow? Was it 20? What year was it?
2022.
22. Was it the year Cripper won his first?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was.
And
I was there.
we got you because we were doing Ball Magnets content as we do at the. I'm seeing Tails there as well at the Brownlow, and then we snuck you boys into the after party, and then you were so nervous to meet Clayton Oliver. Do you remember?
I do remember that.
Oh, Tommy, do you reckon you can make an intro? And I was like, I don't really know him that well, but yeah, come over. And then it was like meeting your biggest crush for the first time in your life.
And he gave me heaps. Yeah, we're standing at the bar, and Tommy goes, "Oh, Claz, this is K-Dos. You know, he does content. He loves you. He's a good man." And then Clary came over, gave me heaps. Clary followed himself off my Instagram.
Did he?
And then
you sipping on there,
DM'd me off his own. And Willie Taylor's just poured
Sorry, just the
poured a Monster Energy
For the
can into
people
the
that haven't
AIA
heard a little
Vitality
bit
Cup.
Out of the AIA Cup.
splashing ASMR. It's the Monster Energy Zero Ultra. Thank you.
Not sure the brand alignment with AIA really fits. I
That's
feel like that's a
right.
healthy.
These are actually good hats, speaking of.
They are. We had these on at the end of last ep.
Do you guys follow? We've covered. Sorry, we'll get back to the D's. Doss, I'm not leaving you hanging.
Please.
Mid-story, we'd never
Please.
do that to you. But we haven't covered off on soccer. I feel like we've covered off on a lot of sports. But Ange, a bit under the pump at Tottenham. Do you guys follow the APL?
Yeah, get rid
I'm
of
a
him.
Chelsea man.
You're a Chelsea man.
Ange out.
Ange
Ange Ball?
Oh,
What do you
geez.
mean?
Oh, look
Dulcie.
it's a performance-based industry.
Have you seen the new Tottenham Stadium over there?
I haven't.
Best
Yeah.
stadium I've ever been to. Had the opportunity to go there last year. It was Tottenham versus Arsenal. Biggest rivalry in North London, intense. The fans are literally separated by lines of security. They have to leave the stadium at different times because they genuinely want to kill each other.
Yeah.
We went to a Tottenham-only pub after the game right near the stadium. It's a brand new stadium, unbelievable. It actually, the synthetic field for NFL games and concerts actually goes over the top of the field. And then they bring it out for the soccer, the real grass.
Wow.
It's pretty incredible. But they said if someone from Arsenal walks into this pub, we'll actually kill him.
Do you think that's a bit too far?
Well, it's probably far. It's like us going to, let's just say, I don't know, Carlton Collingwood on the weekend. You couldn't sit next to a
I find that a little bit immature.
fan from the Oppo. They would
It is a
actually.
little bit immature.
I feel like
It's
It's a bit I don't know.
They are crazy over there.
It is a different world.
They make us look like we don't care.
Yeah.
But they're crazy.
Imagine the Q clash, and it's Brisbane and Gold Coast, and the Gold Coast fans just hate the Lions, and it's just so much rivalry. But yeah, no, I do agree that I think the closest you could get would be Carlton, Collingwood, and Cricketers' Arms. There's been a few punch-ups down there, but I don't think there's been death threats ever.
If you go to a Premier League game, I've only been to one. The amount of police and security and everything out there, you can't take beers back to your seat.
Yeah.
You have to drink the beers out at the bar. It's just different world.
Yeah, it's
different.
very regimented. It has to be because like shit hits the fan.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, Doss, sorry. You met Clary. It was great.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was great. It was a night to remember. He got around me. He followed himself on my phone himself. And, yeah, we've had a kinship ever since.
How good does he look at the moment? He's a bit like you. He's looking ripped out.
He's looking fit.
He's always out doing stretching at that place. I'm not sure where
Yeah.
it is, but
yeah.
good to see him happy first and foremost. Looks like he's locked in, happy, fit. Hopefully has a big year.
It feels like the D seasons, if we're going to go into it, sort of
We'll go.
Sort of hinders on him and
Do you want to
track.
go to coffee tail?
Doss, man.
Street? Shoot off.
Yeah. You two can just fucking have your chat here. I'm sick of
Rip
it.
into him, Tails.
No.
Back me in, Baz. Come on.
I'm sick of it too, mate.
One way we can stop him from talking about this is we can do a really, really early season prediction. And Dossie, if you say anything Demons base, we're cutting.
They're a big
pod.
talking point this year.
They are Harvey Langford and the boys, Sharpie, friends of the show. What do you want to talk about? What do you want? A little prediction?
Well, my big prediction, and it's not like I'm not being biased or anything, only because he's sitting here. But I think Collingwood have to do it again.
Yeah.
This year.
Do it
I think
again.
2025, they'll do it again.
All this glaze over here, just glazing.
Fuck, someone's got to speak the truth on this podcast, mate. So I think all lines are just sort of leading to the premiership.
Okay.
As much as I'd love to see the Doggies and Cody Waitman do really well, I think Collingwood are prime for the picking.
What would be the ugliest grand final?
The ugliest possible outcome for
Richmond,
the end of the year.
Gold Coast.
Freo.
What would be the biggest possible grand final?
Carlton Collingwood.
Carlton Collingwood. Or Hawthorn Collingwood would be hot.
Hawthorn Collingwood would be huge.
Yeah.
Um,
I did say a few years ago, if Carlton Collingwood happened, I think World War III would break out in Melbourne.
It was so close to happening in 23. Remember, Carlton had a 5-goal lead against the Lions.
Yeah.
Was that to play
yeah,
that was to play in the
granny.
grand final
against
against
Collingwood?
you.
Yeah, it was too. Wow.
At the
yeah,
Gabba.
that was very close to happening.
Swan
Wow.
Street. Be shut down.
Yeah.
You got one? You got any big
Wow.
calls? Big predictions?
I hope Tails is right.
That's probably fair.
That'd be nice.
I am going to say Noah Anderson for the Brownlow. He's just taken over captaincy this morning, and I think
good,
Noah
Bailey.
Anderson is in for a serious season down at the Suns. Do you reckon he gets down to the Burley Pav a bit?
I've seen him there before.
You've seen Noah Anderson tipping him back.
I've seen a group of them. Like every time I've been to the Gold Coast and been to the pub, I see them there. Why wouldn't you? One of the great establishments.
Great
Absolutely.
spot.
Yeah.
Go down to there's a couple of good coffee shops around there. Yeah.
Yeah.
We've stayed at the Pav.
Stayed at
Not
the Pav?
stayed at the Pav, but we've
Been to the
stayed
Pav.
around the Pav.
Had a meal at the Pav. Went to the theme parks.
That's not near the Pav. But
It's closer to
have
the
you
Pav
heard the
than what
story?
we're-
Doss's first time at an amusement park.
At Wet and Wild, where'd you go?
We went to Movie World, and I don't like roller coasters, so Baz coerced me onto a couple, and he had a lot of fun watching my reactions.
You been to Movie World?
Yeah, I reckon I have when I was probably 5. But
Okay, wow.
we're actually, like I said before, we got our camp up on the Gold Coast, and we've got a day up there, which is, do some sort of connection activity. So some guys are playing golf, some guys are going fishing, and then there's a group going to Wet and Wild.
Love that.
Yeah.
Love that.
Sick.
Yeah.
Great option. Maybe that's our
The big
move.
kids.
No, Gumboya World. Gumboya.
Goodbye. Well,
We'll go to Gumboya World.
Where is that place?
I'd be scared of the rides that come by.
out
Well,
Warrigal way.
You'd be an adventure park man, sort of down your neck of the woods.
Yeah.
every time I went to Adventure Park, it was 14 degrees.
Yeah.
Just so unpleasant. It doesn't get hot in Leopold.
You gotta go on the aqua racer. I reckon you'd be good on the lazy river, just in a little donut. Just
you reckon
floating.
we
Maybe I
travel
should do
down?
that for some meditation, just like some mindfulness. I go on the lazy river.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then we'll record a pod on the lazy river.
Oh, that could be
that'd be good.
special. That would be
Okay.
something cool.
Shirts off. I've been getting my shirt off for your pre-season. I'm going to record the pre-season sessions for you. Going into the altitude room where it's hot. It's real hot. Everyone's got their shirts off, sweating, and I've got the camera, and I just take my shirt off. I take my shirt off with yous.
That's a bit weird.
Yeah, it'd be
That's
weird
not
look if
weird.
you're someone walking past. Joss at Pulse 8, he puts the heater on in the room. I reckon it's between 40 and 50 degrees, and he puts the room at altitude. So you're at 2,000 to 3,000 metres above sea level, probably similar to Burwood Oval. In the heat, it's good. I have to get you down to a few sessions, Tails.
Oh my God, I might pass out. Gee whiz. 40 to 50 degrees. I struggle to leave the house when it's 31 degrees.
It's actually a bit of a craze at the Pies at the moment. All the guys in rehab put the bikes, rather than do a bike session outside or in the bike section, guys been putting them in the sauna and really getting after it.
Shit.
Yeah, it's a real killer.
I told you, they're prime for the picking. They're putting bikes in the sauna.
Next will be bikes in the swimming pool.
Went wild.
Jeez, that's crazy.
At Goodbye World.
Yeah, we go down to Goodbye World Bikes.
McDonald, have you got a massive season prediction for us?
Massive season prediction. I predict that Fremantle will make the grand final.
Wow. Well, Cozzy Pickett, we know where we're going with this. He's been texting some constituents outside of his home club.
What would you? I'll let you talk about this, Dossie. What's your take on this, mate? You've got free range here.
Yeah, it would be frustrating that the 2019 draft selection in Luke Jackson at pick 3 and Cozzy Pickett at pick 13 both ended up at Freo for not much return. So that would be frustrating. Can we trust texts in January? Like, is John Ralph on the money? Is it legit? Do you know players in the league that were definitely gone 12 months before they actually left? Or do you think...
I don't know about 12 months, but I reckon having moved clubs twice, you generally know, probably with about 8 weeks to go, what's going on.
So I've still got some time to get in the ear of Cos and just on the values of the Melbourne Footy Club. It's not looking good though. But if Freo did get Cozzy Pickett, that forward line would become very scary.
Shea Bolton.
Oh,
Well,
Shea Bolton.
Josh Tracy's one of the best up and coming key forwards. He's only 22.
So he was my next pick for that bloke that could really be the next A grader because he kicked 55 goals or something last year, and he's seriously good. Can take him above his head. Can do it on the ground. If add Cozzy Pickett to that mix with the other couple of forwards, Amos.
Well, Andy Brayshaw hasn't signed, so straight swap. We'll take Andy.
enough.
They can have Cos. Happy days. Another A Brayshaw at the Melbourne Footy Club.
Bring him back.
Lads, this is another episode of the Monday Magnets. Tommy, thanks for stopping by. You'll be coming through throughout
I'll
the
be a
season.
regular, mate. It's gonna be good fun. Jack Ginnivan's very keen. He's gonna be with us quite a bit.
Now that man has
Myself.
aura.
He's got aura. Taylor-esque, some like to say.
Has he moved on the GOAT list, the GOAT scale,
The him scale.
the him scale?
He's
Him
he's,
is
up,
he at
the
he's
moment?
up there.
Jack Himmigan.
Once, Jack Himmivan, he calls himself.
Where's he, and then where are we?
Oh, okay. He's got the aura.
Yeah.
He's right up there. He's probably in the. We need to get the scale out.
Okay, I've got it for you.
Yeah,
It's GOAT. It's him. Could be him.
Yeah, want to be him.
Yeah, it's called something else.
Almost him.
Yeah.
Baz is a
Wanna
wannabe him.
not him.
And then not
Yeah,
it.
so he's not GOAT. He's probably him right now.
Yeah, he's him.
Yeah, he got a lot of attention last year. Played finals, did his celebrations. Right now, where it sits, Hawthorn on the rise, probably him.
He riled up Ken.
Hey,
He got into Ken, riled up Ken.
yeah, like
Hinkley.
he's just everywhere. So I'd say he's got him aura.
I agree.
Yeah.
And now Dos.
Dossie. Okay. I think.
Don't have to be nice here.
No.
I think.
You don't have to be
leadings-
mean.
If we're leaning on the leading teams model, I think Doss, you could be him.
Yeah.
Oh, I
What's
really
holding
like-
you back is the Melbourne stuff.
Yeah.
I really like that. If you had us
we
at
just need some
wannabe,
more spread of dialogue. So you've got potential. Tails, I think you're just a goat. I've always said that. Like me coming down to the game last year, I just looked to my left. Tails is before the game's even started. He's getting the hammies flicked. He's getting
Yeah.
ready, just utilising every opportunity to get better. Bailey, you're probably in DOS territory as well. I've got
Yeah.
potential, but Tails my goat for
So
sure.
where was I before I started the gym? Just real bad areas.
Yeah,
You
you
were-
were not him. Yeah,
Nowhere.
Yeah.
All right, that's it for another episode of the Monday Magnets. We'll see you next week for another episode.